We are live. What's up, everybody? It's Mr. Drew, here to welcome you to another episode of the Andrew Glowczewski Experience. This is going to be episode 284, and we're going to continue Inktober. We're going to continue the Bayonetta study. I had to fill in this last spot with something. It always becomes a burden to be like, all right, what do I want to zoom in on? What do I want to try to do whatever with this outfit? And I feel like I got everything. I was thinking about another backside to figure out what's going on behind here, but it's like there's nothing really there that would have been significant. You know what I mean? Could have been more fur, but like who cares? Could have had this cut going up higher, lower, but you know, who cares? Things like that. So it's like, okay, if that's it, then just let it be it. And so I just drew something where I wanted to draw what the study was with the hair back here when I broke down the hair and how they want to have it fall on her. Ever since I drew these studies, I've been looking at every outfit and wondering how that hair would interact with that outfit. And it's funny enough, like the outfit that I've liked the most so far, this one, I was gonna do that with that, but I was like, damn, maybe the reason why they didn't go with that outfit, or at least with big fur coats and things like that, is how it would have like mashed or clashed with the hair falling over the shoulders and arms the way that it does. And now that I'm looking at it, it's like, oh, you know what, it could have worked, you know what I mean? And you know, this one having a poofy collar, I was like, you know what, let me see if I could make it work. So I wanted to draw something of a pose and specifically focus on the hair falling over, to see if it was possible. And after drawing this, you know, off stream, yeah, it definitely could be. So since I have this drawing down, let's just color it in and see how rendering it would have looked. You know, I've been I was gonna start streaming earlier, and then I started uploading videos onto my YouTube channel, like keeping my YouTube channel up to date. And yeah, all right, here we go. You know, it takes a while to do those. But also, damn, how do I want to do this? Like this, I guess, right? Okay. But also, like the whole process takes a little bit of time. And sometimes it takes a lot more time than I like it to. And I like to wait until that's done before I start streaming, so that way I don't have to keep looking over and checking the uploads while I'm drawing. But this last video is taking so much time. I've just been sitting here for like a half hour to an hour, you know, watching this Ninja Turtle video. But it's like, you know, at some point I'm like, yo, come on, like let me let me do my thing, yo. Let me start drawing, please. And yeah. So I still got that running in the background. But whatever, man. Like, so I'm just gonna have to glance over from time to time to see when the videos, if there's gonna be any problem with the uploads and anything like that. You know, one thing that was unique about this latest, this one that I'm working on now, this outfit, continuing from yesterday, something unique about it was her headband. Like, she doesn't have the red ribbon tying down from her hair like it's been in most pictures. But they gave her like this giant headband, sweatband looking thing.
And because I'm a capitalist pig,
Oh, hold on. Give me a second.
and she's a very bright lady. And I've actually had her on air here. Back in the day, we were fighting a bankruptcy bill that the Republicans put through at the behest of the bankers, and it was a bad bill, and it's a bad law, and it's still in place. Modification of the bankruptcy law. And she and I were on the same side of that. Ted Kennedy, the three of us were fighting against that. We all lost, of course. But she's come out today, and of course, if you haven't heard, Navient, 6 million student loan borrowers are far better off after yet another major company announced it will shut down its services, Elizabeth Warren said. Like Elizabeth Warren caused Navient to shut down. Come on, Elizabeth, you didn't cause this. But yeah, no one is crying a tear that Navient is gone. Navient, one of the largest student loan companies, unveiled plans to end its federal loan services. The student loan industry on Tuesday received yet another major shakeup when Navient became the third company to announce its plans to end its federal student loan program amid regulatory crackdowns this year. Senator Elizabeth Warren had one message for the company: good riddance. I would agree with you, Senator Warren. Navient has spent decades misleading, cheating, and abusing student borrowers. The federal student loan program will be far better off without them. The federal student loan program would be far better off if it didn't exist, Senator Warren. It has not been a blessing to anyone except people like Navient and people like you who used it to get votes. Navient, which collects the federal student loan debt of 6 million borrowers, said in a press release that it's working with the Education Department to approve the transition of those borrowers to another loan company called Maximus.
Oh, wow.
That's comforting. That's a comforting.
Maximus what? Interest?
Maximus interest.
That's scary.
Maximus scrutiny.
Sorry, I just wanted to listen to this to see what happened with Navient.
You can't make this up.
I've
Call it Maximus?
proud to say I've paid off my student loans
Oh boy.
This is fabulous.
and don't have any debt in my life.
The federal student aid office, he said earlier this month, student loan companies are choosing to shut down rather than face more accountability.
Yeah,
That's what's going on.
because they've been screwing people.
They go, hey, this ship is sinking. Let's get out of here.
Well, we done got caught with our hand in the cookie jar. We get all the cookies out of this, we're gone, baby. We're gonna get out of here before we end up the subject of a federal investigation and get more than shut down.
Yeah.
That's what's going on.
They're not doing anyone favors but themselves here.
Yeah, and I gotta tell you, the Democrats and the Republicans did put pressure on Navient for its misbehavior, and thank you. I will go along with you, Senator Warren. Good riddance to Navient. Ciao, baby.
Oh, okay. So I guess Navient just shut down. Something that I knew a while back. I was recently hit up by debt, like student loan debt, whatever people, and they were like, "Hey, you might qualify to earn money back because of the unfair system in which these colleges, ones like the one that I went to, Fort Lauderdale Art Institute of Fort Lauderdale, that has since my graduation is closed down, failed school because it was business that just pumped out students and took all their money rather than actually educated them. Part of the reason why I went to that school specifically was because of the job employment opportunities that they offered. Or that they offered, and they got me early. I was one of the early sign uppers because it was like, hey, log in, sign in early with us, like sign a contract. And I was in high school. I was probably 15 or 16 years old at the time. Like, sign this contract that says that you're gonna go to this college, and we'll give you a discount on your tuition or whatever. And it was like, okay, cool. And the reason why I chose them, that wasn't the reason. The reason why I went with them was because they claimed a 96% employment, meaning you had a 96% chance to get a job within the industry for the your study. And me wanting to be an animator was like, okay, well, I definitely don't have any opportunities. This is good, 96%, hell. This is going to be the best opportunity for me to get into animation like I always wanted to. And I never got that because they were just a sham of a school that just took people's money and just pumped out students, and I never got that 96% chance opportunity that they claimed, and I was just another sucker, basically. And same thing with, if you ever listen to my earlier streams, I talked about that at length, and it's part of the whole reason why I'm doing these streams is because of the lack of opportunity in my life to get into the industry that I want, that I wanted to get into.
He says it's not just a way to communicate and work with the police, but it's also a warning sign. A warning sign that any thug in Gotham caught misbehaving is going to the hospital.
So, yeah, that's just why I wanted to listen to what happened to Navient, because even though I got screwed and I'm pissed off about it, and that's a lot of money that just went down the drain that I'll never see again, and uh, I've paid off that debt and am ready and waiting to receive some sort of recompense for it. I know that there's still law. It's still being lawyered to not just the Art Institute of Fort Lauderdale. They're just one of the schools, but for all schools that have made the same empty promises to a bunch of students. What I'm still waiting to, one day maybe I'll see something come of it, whether it's justice or, you know, uh, a job or a payment, something. But yeah, it's a sore spot in my history.
Next, we see the captured Edward Ashton in custody, and Batman comes in to question him, most likely, about another one of his killings or possibly the bomb from the first trailer. And I can't wait to see this crazy, unstable side of Bruce come out in Batman. The movie is doing what Marvel can't, and I'm so glad they're not trying to be Marvel. They can do things that Marvel can't do because of the older audience they have. And I think this gritty detective crime action story is going to really pay off big time for them. Plus, it also gives us something so fresh and new to look forward to that we haven't really seen done this well in the superhero world. I mean, just look at this trailer. It's a cinematic masterpiece. If anything, at least we know this movie will be visually outstanding. I also thought that was pretty interesting that we haven't seen the Riddler's face yet. I'm glad they're keeping it a little bit of a mystery for this movie. I really hope they don't reveal too much before it comes out. We've only got 4 months left, and I'm hoping there's some big surprises that they don't show us in these trailers. Next, we're introduced to Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman, which I gotta say, I really like how her character feels in this movie. She's very versatile and sneaky and independent. I love the different looks she has. There's literally 3 different looks just in this trailer alone, plus her costume that we didn't get to see her in. It really feels like she could blend into a crowd at a moment's notice and slip in and out to get what she wants without anyone batting an eye. This orange background they're shooting on is so gorgeous. The color grading for this film just looks beautiful. They're working with the very talented cinematographer Greg Fraser for this movie, who also did the cinematography for Rogue One and Dune, which both look incredible. I'm so excited to watch this movie in theaters. It looks like such a visually appealing movie, and that makes me so happy. We also get to see a good look at Colin Farrell as the Penguin, which, again, I am so surprised at how he looks. If nobody told me, I wouldn't know that was Colin Farrell. Even his voice sounds different. He's an amazing actor, and I think he's going to kill this Penguin. I really hope that he becomes a reoccurring character in this universe, and we see him have little roles in the next movies. And Alfred. This is our first look at Andy Serkis playing this role, and can I say, he looks so good. He looks weathered, he looks seasoned, he looks like he can hold his own and bring things to the table that Bruce will need to hear. I can't wait to see the relationship between them, and I really hope he time. But here he tells Bruce if he continues the way he is, there's not going to be anything left to continue with. And I can't help but imagine this is him referring to Bruce's recklessness, as he is literally just going in, guns a-blazing, not giving a care in the world what happens to him, just walking head-on into gunfire to accomplish his mission. We're seeing a very young Bruce in this movie. I'm really excited to see him already started in his career as the Bat. We're not going to get an origin story. this is not what this is. We're getting a Batman finding his footing story, which is another new thing that this film has going for it. Then we see this clip of more riddles, and it looks like a lot of evidence that Edward Ashton left for Batman, but there's all these big puzzle pieces of Gotham here. Coulson refers to the bomb guy from the first trailer, the district attorney who will probably be putting people behind bars wrongfully. Pete Savage is the commissioner who's probably corrupt as well. Don Mitchell was the former mayor that gets killed off in the first trailer. The renewal is a lie. One of Riddler's messages, probably referring to the corrupt Gotham being industrialized or refurbished by the corrupt to profit off the people. In Sins of My Father, I can't help but think this refers to Bruce Wayne's father, who was probably part of the corruption with all of his shady secrets that I'm sure we'll learn about in this movie. But all of these have something in common. They all point to the big question mark in the center of the room, and I'm sure we're going to follow along as Bruce tries to figure out what the Riddler has done. Next, we get to take a look at the Iceberg Lounge, which is Penguin's club. Batman needs to talk to Penguin, so he infiltrates this club, beats all the bad guys to a pulp with anything he can find, including this huge pipe, captures the Penguin, and no doubt gets what he needs to know. The more I see Colin Farrell as the Penguin, the more excited I get for this movie. I love the flashing red in these scenes. I feel like it's just going to make it so much more epic. This fight, the whole mass breakout feel, is going to be so cool. As long as we get more scenes of Batman throwing his fist through bad guys' faces, I'll be happy. We also get to see a little bit more of Selena Kyle talking to Batman and questioning who he is under the mask. Now, usually how it works is she's pretty smart, and smart enough to eventually figure it out before Batman decides to reveal himself to her. But here, when she's getting close to Bruce, he looks a little too comfortable, and like he likes it a little too much. I'm really excited that they decided to put 3 different villains in this movie. If we get an origin story for each of them, there's such a good chance they'll end up getting their own short series on HBO Max, or possibly their own spin-off movies. This scene is what everyone is freaking out over. Out of nowhere, Batman drops down in a pitch black corridor, and immediately 4 bad guys just start lighting him up. And Batman just takes all the bullets. He's literally a bullet sponge in this movie, and it's so freaking awesome. It's like he's invincible. This is why Alfred was telling him to take a chill pill. But he marches down the hallway, taking out the thugs as he goes, and all we can see are little glimpses from the muzzle flashes from the gunfire, and it's the most epic cinematic action scene ever. And the trailer just continues to get better. They literally just casually give Pattinson a Darth Vader hallway scene, and then go off to show off even more stuff in the trailer. This trailer is setting my hopes so high right now. This is the best portrayal of Batman as a figure that the thugs of Gotham should be scared of. He literally looks like he's going to put them all in comas and couldn't care less. He looks invincible. These bad guys are not going home tonight. They're going to the ICU. Please do not let us down, Matt Reeves. We are trusting you. That's so awesome. Real quick, how is nobody talking about how this Batmobile looks straight out of the Fast and Furious franchise? Dom Toretto would be so proud. I wouldn't be surprised if his license plate says family. No, but for it's so cool to see such a grounded take on this Batmobile. It looks like something that a real-life crime fighter would actually use, especially one that's just starting out and has a lot of room for some sick upgrades. Love this shot of Batman with the wing glider suit hopping off the Gotham Tower and the police chasing him, which also piques my curiosity at what relationship Batman will have with the police in this movie. We know he'll eventually be on working terms with them because of the Batlight and Commissioner Gordon and his invitation to all the crime scenes, but what about all the scenes with Batman running from the cops or getting into scuffles with them? Will the Riddler set him up and the cops eventually go after Batman? Is it just the first half of the movie before he begins working with the Commissioner? I'm not so sure, but I'm really excited to see. Another shot of Batman just relentlessly beating a bad guy to a pulp, holding absolutely nothing back. I'm sure he'll even come close to killing in this movie, but his character holds him back. We get some more cinematic wonderfulness with the red flare and Batman leading the people through the water. I can only imagine what this is going to be. I'm sure the handiwork of another one of Riddler's bombs. But I want to talk about this final scene. You know the one that I'm talking about. This scene where Penguin himself...
I got you. I got you.
For 2 full minutes straight. I didn't know it could get any better, but Colin Farrell as Penguin is literally yelling out that he got the Batman, believing he killed him. And just at the last moment, the Batmobile shoots out of the fireball, crashing into the Penguin, causing him to flip over. Then we see an upside-down shot from the Penguin's perspective as Batman literally walks through the flames towards him Terminator style. This is such an epic shot. Once again, this just makes him look like he's invincible. This clip alone is why I'm going to the theater. I cannot wait for this film. Can only imagine all the other stuff they're going to jam-pack in this movie. I knew this movie would be worth the wait, but like, dang. This movie way over exceeded my expectations. Oh, and swinging back to the Penguin origin story, could you imagine if Batman crashed into the Penguin and damaged his legs, and that's what will eventually make him walk funny and give him his Penguin waddle? I mean, I'm not saying I called it, but that would be pretty cool. They did a really good job with this trailer. I feel like this movie is just going to be visually incredible. I love the dark and gritty take on the superhero they're doing, and I love how well they distinguish themselves through the fighting, the color grading, the insanity, the dark tones, the suit, the Batmobile. I'm just so ready for this movie. The whole trailer gave me chills, and I just can't wait for the next one. I hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure you're subscribed with post notifications on so you don't miss my slow motion breakdown I'll be doing soon. Tell me in the comments what villain you're most excited for in this movie. And until next time, I am vengeance.
The all-new SunPass Pro. Learn more at sunpass.com. Maybe.
Well, now we feel sort of professional.
Yeah.
Was that seamless?
I think, okay, you know what though? I actually don't know if my microphones pick up while it's playing. Hi everybody.
Well, nobody was saying anything, so even if we were cursing.
Alright, well hi everybody. Welcome to another Monday Night Raw with American Dave. It's been 2 weeks, which is too long. We had Thanksgiving last week, which was great. We spent much time with family.
I didn't have to make it. That's the best part.
And yeah, it was at Meredith's parents' house, and so they did everything. Meredith's sister did a little bit too, so it was very nice. I ate way too much cake. No comments. So
Too
yeah.
much cake,
So we have
too much ice cream, too many bags of chips.
All right. Yeah, all good. So today I'm going to be drawing Wolverine versus Hulk. I want to do basically the classic pose from Hulk. I can't remember the number of the issue. I have reference right here. It's the issue I have is it's a reprint, so it's too long, so I can't remember. Anyway, it's going to be Wolverine versus Hulk, so I'm pretty excited about doing that. I'm going to go ahead and get started. Oh,
We
before
are
I
not
start,
the information at fingertips kind
no,
of
I'm
people.
not. Before I start though, I want to mention that it's nothing yet. We're getting there. This Wolverine versus Hulk is going to be donated in the name of Angel Lowe's House. It's through our church, and
Fuck
I know
yeah.
that a lot of your religious and certainly would want.
I feel like these suits are all gonna start getting a whole lot better when
Canada, immigrant families to have a place to stay and get their feet under them, and the church does a lot of work with it, and I wanted to be able to contribute something, so we're gonna auction this one out with guests on eBay. So I never know how we do it, but that's what we're gonna do. And
Yes,
so
Meredith's going to figure how we're going to auction that one.
it's a great charity, so I'm very happy and privileged that they were willing to let me do this. So
They're like, who are you? No.
so
You're going to
here we
do
go.
what?
All right. And I would show a layout, Henry. Is Henry here? Hey, Richard Friend's here.
Hey, Richard! What up?
Yeah. Dan DeSantos is here. Great to see you,
David!
Dan. I'm
This
gonna
is
start
the
drawing
only
while I
way-
talk, but
This is the only way your friends can contact you. It's on your stream because Dave has been an ostrich this week.
I am so afraid of Dan right now. Dan DeSantos. I'm gonna take this one. As soon as I start, oh my god.
There we go.
So I've been taking
What's going on here? How come this?
absolutely incredible. And I've
How
actually-
come that's
I have to say, I've been learning
blank?
so much about it. I intended to learn how to oil paint. And
Ah,
I've
that's right.
also been learning how to work with paint. And basically, you have a foreground, a middle ground, and a background, and to be able to separate those out well, it's something that I'm familiar with in comics. But doing that with white, black, and tones of gray, and the kind of subtlety that you can get, also just some color things I've really been learning,
Didn't work out this time.
It worked out. It worked out.
Did it?
Where is my green? There you are.
But the technique worked. And so, but yeah, I spent 5 days on cover this week. So,
That's too long.
and I had a class that I missed on Thursday, and I'm actually going to be in Toronto for this coming
Then
Thursday,
there's another one.
which gives me a little bit of time. I have all the reference that I need. I'm doing a painting for the class, which I'm pumped about. I have all the reference I need. It'll give me a little bit of time to at least be ready the week after. And I think, actually, both Eric and I are going to be taking the class again. As soon as it's finished, I want to take it again. I've learned so much from it.
Oh no. I have an oh no. I'm on a new computer this week because I couldn't take the fact that only half of my spacebar worked and none of my shift keys. And Henry's texting me about writing the Book of the Week song, and I think Dave wants to smash a bottle over my head. But I don't have the Book of the Week song on my computer now.
You know what?
I'm gonna have to fake it.
I'm so glad.
Unless you send it to me, Henry, send it again.
I'll say this. I don't love it, to say the least.
I love it.
I don't love it. But
I know that much.
Henry's an OG around here, so you can give
He
him
is. He can
whatever
do
he wants.
whatever he wants. All right, we have a super chat for $5 from SCS Powerlifting. SCS says, love for the channel and all the great art showing up on the Finch block page. Speaking of the Finch block page, which is awesome by the way, it's so much, it's like my favorite thing to do in the morning when I sit down and have my tea. I'm like, let's see what's happening on the block. But there's been some cool stuff, Dave.
There has been actually. There's a couple of things.
That
First of
made
all,
Dave cry. If Dave was capable of shedding a tear.
So no, I didn't cry, but I thought it was really great. The first thing is that Sheldon Martin, who I think all of you know, you've been here quite a bit,
Sheldon in the house.
did a page with my flight character, a full comic page with storytelling. It looked absolutely amazing. It was in color.
Oh,
and
there we
it was
go.
Incredible.
So good.
I really would like to post it to the YouTube comments page and maybe put it on my Instagram.
There we go.
I was, yeah,
I'm an artist.
I was tearing up in the sense that,
That you were honored.
yes, I wasn't.
There we go.
Tear-upper.
So yeah, man, the hair definitely works. It's something that I should probably try more and more often.
Yeah, it was.
And I'm even dipping into my other markers now just to get the skin tone, just because I really hated having to try to mix and blend to try to make something over there. Like, it definitely gives it a stylized look, but yeah, just get the skin tone in there, am I right? And yeah, I think this works, even though it's not a part of the design here. The way that the hair is broken down, like I said, from that past study, over here,
Nerd art.
it's broken into 5 pieces, maybe 6. It just depends if the big piece in the back, this giant back piece right here, gets broken into 2 or 3 or however many. But I just count it as 1. But other than that, you have it breaks into 5: in front of the shoulder, behind the shoulder, on both shoulders. So it goes in front of the shoulder on both shoulders, behind the shoulder on both shoulders, around the arm, and then the big piece in the back. So, she has her big ponytail up here, and it drops down, so it goes in front of the shoulder, and then it wraps behind the shoulder and back to the front of her arm. So behind the shoulder to the front of her arm, and then, the big piece in the back, which is making up the majority of the background here. Anyways, I just wanted to draw that. That's something I should probably work on some more. I mean, any excuse to really revisit this design and go back to it, I love it. I mean, I probably had an opportunity to do it here to really challenge myself with, especially with the things that I love and this whole Bayo study and making things work and all that, to throw that concept in to here. But I guess it really doesn't apply because they did have the hair going into the opposite, like shooting off to the side, which if it shoots off to the side, I guess it's not really gonna drape down on her like directly. It's gonna like droop to the side and at best wrap around one side of her body, which could be cool, but there's no real use, no real reason to do that. Like I could do it here, but this is just like like an X-Men skin tight suit. There's nothing really fancy to it. And the fuzzy cuff sleeves aren't really gonna get in the way of the hair if I did that here. So again, no real reason to do it. But yeah, maybe moving forward as they start finding better looks for her, and whatever. Yeah, maybe that'll be something that I do if I think it'll be interesting. Like this one, I thought it was interesting just because she has this poofy collar. So if I can get the pose with the poofy collar and things like that, I could have did it here. But I really wanted to capture, I guess, the crisscrossing on her, on this leather here. But anyways, super cool. Came out great. And yeah, man, I'm really enjoying this series. I think I don't know if it hasn't been clear or abundantly clear yet, but my skills tend to get a whole lot better. These things that I work on get better the more that I work on them, and it's the way that it should be, of course. Like if you're gonna work on something, of course it should be good.
And Patches went gently into the night.
Yeah, we were all here.
In our arms, on our bed.
Wait, did Patches die?
She got loved by everybody, so very sad for Patches. We miss her dearly.
No, Patches died. Oh man, I'm watching David Finch and his wife, and they're talking about their cat. And I'm not, a cat guy or anything like that, but it is like,
Don't worry, we're still here till 10.
it is kind of sad, I feel sorry for them. Their cat died.
He's not here anymore. Because he's busy, and I can't remember, was it work or school, but we can make Mondays, so we have no Lance the boy, so I'm all ready. Another OG, and I've known Lance for ages, from conventions, and if you're watching this later, Lance, we miss you.
Yeah. Cindy said she was a good cat. Patches was the best cat. Like Patches was a 1 in a million cat. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. She would like come up, sit behind me, lick my hair. So
Yeah, she was pretty.
yeah, she was awesome. And John, I didn't say that to like make you feel bad. I just said it to segue because we have to say it. Like she's not gonna come down tonight.
Oh yeah, I guess you kind of do have to talk about it. People are gonna be like, "Where's Patches?" Ugh, that's rough. That's sad, man.
Dave, does it matter what you ink your piece with before submitting it? Also, are there any ink techniques you can suggest?
Let me finish this foot, Antoine, hold on.
Tight.
For those of you guys that have watched,
This is looking good, man. I love it. I love it.
artist study stream.
Let's
Actually, Eric and I are going to be doing that again very, very soon. Eric is recovering right now. He's been a little sick. I think Eric is here. I just talked to him. Hey, Lance is here. Lance Boyer is here. All is right with the world. Well, we don't have Patches, but I'm glad Lance is here. It's great. Right, okay, let me stop here for a minute. So, inking. There are a few words. First of all, it doesn't matter if it's ink. That's all they care about. So don't worry about that at all. But you have a couple of choices, well, okay. Your choices are.
all right. Let's.
You can use the computer, obviously, and you can
This has been about a half hour. That's what I figured it'd be. I did a really long stream yesterday when I got both of these. I did this set and probably should have ended the video there, but I just kept trucking through and ended up with a really long video because I did I filled in these, how many spots is that? 5 spots? And the video started to kind of glitch. I was worried about losing it, so I cut the video short before I got to fill in this space. So this will be a short one just to balance out that long one from yesterday.
Usually, I would say you can work with a traditional brush. I keep, and actually,
And
here. So
yeah, so that'll be the end of this one, and then I'll be right back on now. It looks like that video finally finished uploading onto my YouTube channel, anyways. So, yeah, I'm shut this down. Go over there, address that, make sure everything's all good, and then I'll be right back on tonight, man. And yeah, we'll start the next page. We'll start the next design. Super cool. Let's see what's coming up, because the one I just worked on is let's unblur, is this one. As you can see, these are all really dark and everything, and you know, they look like super Bayonetta and everything like that, like they should. My studies are a little bit brighter and colorful just because of the sketch markers that I'm using, the, you know, this limited palette that I have. But yeah, this will be the next one that we work on, and these things are so dark, I'm sure you really can't see what's happening. Like you could barely make out the crisscross design happening on these, but they're there. And that's why I do these breakdowns and everything like that, man. There's a lot that's going on in these that just really, so much work that a lot of people aren't really getting to see, because these are Japanese books, so people aren't buying them for that, and two, because they're out of print, so you can't find them even if you wanted to, or if you could find it, they're super expensive. So, you know, it's a lot of fun to bring these things to you. But yeah, end of this video, and next one we'll address this one. We'll get down to it, figure this out, and yeah, obviously then we'll move on to this one later on, and then finally finishing off with whatever's going on here. And yeah, man, as you can see, they're getting a lot more elaborate, a lot more cool. So yeah, it's gonna be a whole lot of fun, man. Stay tuned. If you're, you know, if you don't follow the channel yet, you know, hit that follow button. That way you can keep up with me, because I'll be at this for a long time. Anyways, I'm G Mr. Drew. It's at G Mr. Drew on all socials. Follow, like, and subscribe. Those links are in my bio, along with my website, gmrdrew.art. For sure, check that out. And contact me through there if you wish. And if you want, you know, you like to support artists or support the arts and all that other stuff. You know, I talked earlier in the beginning of this video about the whole school thing. That was just because of the Navient video, the news about Navient, what happened with them coming up. I don't really talk about it too much anymore, just because I've already done it ad nauseum. But anyways, yeah, you know, if you like to support the arts and think that it's a crime that these artists, you know, such as myself, get taken advantage of by these schools and these companies and everything that happens out there, and you want to support artists that are worth supporting, ones who have dreams and actual goals and plans and are enacting them and just need some help, you know, people like me. You may want to join my Patreon, man. I have a $1 tier just for regular support. It's, you know, the lowest I can make it. Patreon even doesn't, they say, like, don't do $1 tiers, but fuck it, I got one in there just because. And the offerings that I make on there are character commissions. And, you know, from $3 a month and up, I just updated all the pricing updated the pricing on some of the tiers there. So definitely check out my Patreon if you haven't in a while. You might be surprised at some of the prices. But anyways, you know, there's a $3 tier, $6 tier, and then $20 and $30 tier. But those, you know, you get commissions from it. So you either get many commissions or really big commissions and things like that. So if you like my style, and these are all just sketches, but even these sketches, I mean, I love these things, you know, especially this latest one, getting all these details in, super dope. But, you know, I definitely like to get a little bit more detail and everything else like that in when I do commissions and things like that. So if my style definitely catches your attention and you want to support the arts, and, you know, whatever, man, check out those tiers starting at $3, but it goes up from there, and you get a whole lot. You get a whole lot for it, man. Anyways, just watching these things is enough help, and I appreciate it, each and every one of you. So I'll be right back, man. Love y'all. Peace.